Hello friends, let's design today 2:1 multiplexer using transmission gate. So what 2:1 multiplexer is? So this is a logic diagram, simple logic diagram for 2:1 multiplexer where either of the two inputs D0 and D1 will be transmitted to the output at a time based upon the state of select lines. So if the select line is at logic 0 state, then D0 will be transferred to the output. If select line is logic 1, then D1 is transferred to the output. That is what basic operation of a 2:1 multiplexer is. Now this is to be implemented using transmission gates. So transmission gates here are designed with parallel combination of P MOSFETs and N MOSFETs. So two pairs are there, two P MOSFETs and two N MOSFETs, N1 and N2, two NMOS, P1, P2 as a two P MOSFETs. So transmission gate, in this case, when the transistor is used as a switch in the load connection and in the driving circuitry, and these are provided with how the inputs are provided. See, to the gates of these complementary pair of inputs is provided. So this N1 and P2 is provided with S bar, while P1 and N2, these MOSFETs are provided with, so gate is provided with the select line inputs S and S bar. So in this case, it allows the inputs to be transferred to the output with the help of the transistors used as a switches without attenuation because of the threshold voltage condition. So this is what the working of 2:1 multiplexer and how the connection of the transmission gate is done. Now let us move towards designing of the, so this will be the screen where we'll be designing the layout now. So it requires two P MOSFETs and two N MOSFETs. Click on the palette. So here I will select from the MOS generator. So it's a PMOS. So I require the two PMOS. So I will say generate the device. So P MOSFET will be generated here. Now again a pair of N MOSFETs is required. Pair of N MOSFETs. Generate a device. Click here. Okay, fine. So this is a pair of P MOSFETs and N MOSFETs. Now how these are connected? Already we have seen in the diagram. See, connections are made in such a way that, so drain, now to do the further connections, make a note, these are the two P MOSFETs and these are the two N transistors. Now how to do the connections from beginning? Let us refer this diagram. See, this diagram says that gate of P1 and gate of N2, these are provided with common input, that is select input, while gate of N1 and gate of P2, these are provided with S bar. So two of the transistors, that is with the complementary pairs, are to be provided with the same inputs through the gate. So let us come to this point. Now what we will do, let us consider this as a P1, this as a P2. We can give the labels for the reference if want. Okay, let it be. At the end we can give the labels, it will be confusion. So this is a P1, this is P2. Let us call this as a N2 and this as a N1. So P1 and N2 gate is provided with the common input. So what we'll do, we'll join these two layers. Similarly, we'll join these two gates where one is provided with S input, another is provided with S bar. This is what the connections for the input. So P1 and this is a N2. Now in case of this, again, how the terminals are there? So this will be called as a source, gate, drain, and again this is a drain, gate and source. So this is a gate terminal which is common for, drain terminal for both the P MOSFETs. Drain of both the P MOSFETs is to be joined with, let us come back here. See, we are designing this connection now. So drain of both the P MOSFETs is joined with source of both the N MOSFETs. So let us come back. Let us consider this as a source line. So drain, gate, source, and this is again source, gate and drain for the NMOS transistors. So what we can do? We can join these two layers from where we can take the output, common output. This is part. Now what else connections are to be done? So make a note, this is a P1 and this is N2. So now this is where we'll be providing the clock 1 and clock 2, that are the inputs in the form of a. So this will be select lines provided at the gate inputs. One will be S and another will be S bar. Now we are left with providing the D0 input. So where the D0 is input is provided, so D0 is input is provided to the source of P1 is connected with drain of N1. Source and then drain. So this is the source of P1 is to be connected with drain of N2. So now we can do this connection. Let us do this connection. I will extend from this, will come on to this side into the connections, then stretch this layer down with sufficient length. Let us move back down. I will stretch this line. Okay, now we can join these two layers. So now we have joined this source of P1 with drain of N2. This is what the connection is done. Now what else connection is to be done now? Now this is a P2. P2 source of P2 is to be joined with drain of N1. Let us go back. Source of P2 is joined with drain of N2 and that is to be provided with the next input, that is D1. But now so we have to do the connection between this source of P2 to the drain of N1. Now when we have to do this connection, if I extend this metallic layer through this point, if I do this connection, what will happen? This metallic layer will get connected with this drain terminal, which is not the connection that is part of our design. Now what we can do, because this is a metal to metal connection has to be done. Now what we can do, we can extend this layer with metallic layer, go into this side, and we can use here the metal to connection to avoid the direct connectivity, because we want the overlap, not the direct connectivity. So what I will do, I will take extending this layer downside till this point. Fine. Same, I will extend this layer. Okay. Now both of these two can be joined with one another metallic layer. Sufficient overlap has to be there. So I will use the metal 2 so that it will not directly connect. Okay. So I will extend this metal layer still, so that when I make the contact should be properly held with these two, metal 1 as well as metal 2. Okay, so okay, I think this is sufficient, but still we'll extend this overlap also. Fine. See, these are the metallic contacts. So metal 1 to metal 2 contact. So this is a metal 2, metal 2, metal 1, metal 2 contact. So I will use this metal 2, metal 1, metal contact. So I will make this connection. Similarly, metal 1 and metal 2, because this one is metal 1 and this is metal 2. So that what we have avoided the direct connectivity, because drain is not connected to these terminals, again with the source of this NMOS transistors also. So we have used here the metal 2 and for the connectivity purpose the contact is done, so that now this is not exactly connections. Now this is what we have to provide. Now what else is left? We are left with providing the VDD. So VDD supplies to be provided to the N well every time. Now we have to provide the inputs to the gates. So gate is provided with S and S bar. So let us choose one clock pulse. I will choose this clock pulse here. So 0.090. I will call this as S, which is select input. Assign this so that it will be visible in the output part. Similarly, I will assign another clock pulse to this as a S bar, and I will call this as a S bar. Now instead of inverting it, what I will do, I will make this of the same value 0.090, but I will change the settings to 0 value. I will invert the clock pulse instead of inverting otherwise one gate would be required as an inverter. So I will make this as, I can make this as a 2 also. Okay, in that case it was 1.2. I should make this also as a 1.2. Okay, assign. So this is what S assigned, and this is a S bar. Now we need to take the output also. Where the output is taken? Output is taken from this. Oh, we'll escape this. Sufficient spacing has to be there. Metal 1. So I will take it outside. Okay, from this point we can take the output. So again, as per the rules, it should be with sufficient width. If it is not sufficient, we'll get message. Okay, fine. So from this we can assign the output. So I will call this as a output Y, or I can say this as a simply OUT. This is what output is. Assign the output. Okay, now data is to be applied again. We'll apply here the clock pulse, data D1. We'll call this as a D1. Assign. Similarly, assign one more. Add this. This becomes D2. Okay. Assign. Okay, so this is, we have done with the layout. Complete layout is done. So this is a P1. So this is a P1, P2, and this is N2 and N1. So we have done with the connections. The connections are mapped with this diagram, how the connections are done with the source, gate, drain and P1, P2 labels. Now to simulate this, before simulation we should go for the design rule checker. If I click here, so no design rule error, we have used the 0.8% memory, that is okay. So if I simulate the circuit now, so what is expected output, that should be known to us, then only we can check if the output is okay. So already we have seen what the function of a multiplexer is based upon the select line. If select line is 1, then D1 will be transferred to the output. See, this is a select line S, this is S bar. So if S is equal to 1 or 0, accordingly S bar is provided. S, and this is a S bar. And this is what the output is. And these are the D1 and D2. Actually, it should be D0 and D1 as per the labels given there. But it is okay. Let us understand that this is a D0, this is a D1. When S equal to 1, D1 should be transferred to the output. See, in this case, okay, both the inputs are 1. But here the output is because of the D1 only. Now if I make this S as a, when the select line becomes 0. So in this case we can check. Here the D0 value is 0 and here it is a 1. But whose output is 0? It is because of the D1 state. So make a note here, the D1 is a D0 according to our circuit, D0 and D1. So based upon the select line conditions, when select line is 1, here the D1 state is 1, so this is becoming 1. So in short, the output waveforms indicates that select line, if it is a 1, it follows D1, and select line is 0, it follows the D0. That's it. Now we can connect here one capacitor, which will be virtual capacitor connected, and that will show the effect by connecting the virtual capacitor. So at the output, if I connect here the virtual capacitor, if I say this as a OK, now if I simulate the circuit again, then the effect will be observed where the rise time and fall time has been increased. See, this is the effect. So this is what the rise time and fall time. If we don't want to make this much variations in the rise time and fall time, just reduce the value of capacitor. So by connecting the capacitor, power dissipation will also increase, and the rise time and fall time of the capacitor is also, if you are using the virtual capacitor as a load. This is what the waveforms of the transmission gate is. Transmission gate are used to design the 2:1 multiplexer. For the sake of understanding, what we can give the labels if you want. This transistor is a P1. This is P1. This transistor is a, I will call this as a P2. This I will call it as a N1. We can call this as N2. That's it. This is what the output is. So this is how the labels are given: P1, P2,